Hi, I'm Kirsty, the Squarespace designer at Kirsty M Design. In this video, I just wanted to chat through a new feature that Squarespace have launched fairly recently. So it's first week of October 2023, and it is called Courses. So this is Squarespace's version of an online course platform similar to Teachable or Thinkific, Kajabi, and it allows you to create a course which you can sell via a one-off payment, a subscription payment you can offer for free. It can have single lessons, multiple lessons set up into chapters. You can publish all of this content at once, or you can choose to kind of drip feed it out to people over the course of a set amount of time. So this is just their information page on squarespace.com where you can learn a little bit more, see some examples of what can be done. And then at the bottom here, we've got their pricing plans. So this can be added to your website for free if you're on the business plan or above. You can see here there are some limitations on the free version. The first is that you'll just get 30 minutes of storage within Squarespace. However, you can host your videos on YouTube or on Vimeo and just use those links to add your course videos to the lessons within your course. But the biggest downside is this 9% transaction fee. So every time somebody was to purchase your course, Squarespace is taking 9% of that. And that's kind of on top of any fees set up by Stripe or PayPal or whoever your payment processor are. And so that is something to kind of consider. As you move up their scale of paid plans, those fees come down, and you also get more storage space if you want to host your videos within Squarespace. So deciding on what plan to go for, it's really a bit of maybe trial and error, or having a think about how many courses you think you'll sell, when you'll see the benefit of moving down to that 0% transaction fee. The great thing is you can always move up and down. You could go monthly instead of annually and just kind of test it out and see how it goes. I would say the pricing is in line with those other course platforms like your Teachables, Kajabis, etc. So I think their pricing is pretty fair. It's just kind of taking some time to figure out what's going to work best for you. But jumping over into my website, I am kind of just playing around with the course interface myself. I do intend on creating this course that you can see on screen about Squarespace campaigns. So the email marketing platform that's built into Squarespace, I'd like to do a short course on that just so people can set that up on their own without having to sort of pay for a designer to set it up for them. So whilst I've been kind of playing around with it, I can show you how the course interface is going to look for somebody if they are to purchase a course from you. So if we just head over to full screen here, you can add as much or as little additional content to these course pages. So everything from this line down is a set block that the course kind of creates automatically. Anything above and below can be added, quite similar to your blog page or your product page that you might know already from playing around with your website, or if you're kind of just in the process of building out your Squarespace site. So you'll see here I've broken it into 2 chapters at the moment. Of course there will be more as I start building this out, but we have an introduction chapter and a setup chapter, and then within that there are lessons. As somebody would work their way through these lessons, they get ticked off here, and that is what informs this progress bar as somebody's working through it. Each of the lessons can contain a video, and that would be the first a piece of content within that lesson, and then below that you can actually add sections just as you would on any page within your website. So it can be really flexible about what's included in your course. You can have any of your usual Squarespace blocks, you can have buttons for people to download things, you can have images, text of course, your accordion blocks, anything to make the content within the course as visually interesting and engaging as possible. But of course it can have the video at the top here. You can then click next lesson, which is kind of completing and continuing on to the next lesson. This one I've set up with just block content, so no video. So we've got just a placeholder image here and some text and a button. I'm just kind of trialing how that will look. And then we'd obviously completed that previous lesson before, which is why it just said next lesson. If somebody's coming to a new lesson, they'll get that option to complete and continue. On the right hand side here is the course drawer, I suppose. So let me just move myself out of the way. This is where all of the lessons will be visible when somebody's kind of within the lessons, and you can again see our chapters, our different lessons, our progress, and these are just ticking off. And people can then jump from lesson to lesson as they are working through the course. This black box is where a video should be. I've not yet uploaded a video in there. So if I just scoot on back to the other side. Another thing I wanted to just show you was how people would sign up. So this is maybe one day going to be my kind of course landing page. You could set this out however you wanted. This section here is the new course block, and that is what you will place on your sales page for your new course. You can of course have the title, the price. It can be a one-time fee, a monthly subscription, or split into kind of 2 or 3 payments. You can add a description about your course, and you can also add features, which is quite a neat way to display. You'll get a wee tick and then a kind of a bullet point of features of the course. Somebody would click to buy now. The first thing they'll do is create or join your course. So they'll just need their name, email, password. Once they've completed this step, they'll be taken to your checkout to make their one-time or their first of many payments. And once they've done that, they'll then be able to access that course content. So it works it's really slick, it's really easy for people to work through. So just looking through my course here, in fact, if I just pop back one step, the way you would add a new course to your site is as if you were adding a new page, and down the bottom here we have this option just called course. So let's actually just do that so you can see how that looks. You'll first be given 2 layout options. This can be changed in the future. It's just to kind of get you started. So we'll just select this first one. You'll then be prompted to name your course. I'll just leave it as the default for now, just to kind of show you this process. So you would add in your name, hit return, and then you'll be taken into the actual course page. So this is similar to that screen we were just on for my course. And as I mentioned, we can have sections above, and in this case they've also added some sections below to just give some information about the course. Options here include your pricing plans. So this is where you'd be able to create and add a pricing plan. This is the little example. I'm jumping all over the place in this video. But this is the little example that we just looked at on my page. So we have our title, our price, our description, and those are those features that I spoke about. And you can add those and all of that information here. This is how you would set up the different payment options. So if you wanted it maybe split into 3 payments, so it could be £15 for 3 months, and then that's somebody fully paid up and they have then lifetime access to your course. The other option is a subscription where you would set a fee every month. And this is probably useful if your course is set up that it kind of grows over time, or maybe they have access to something else whilst they have access to your course. So it kind of justifies that ongoing monthly fee until they cancel, basically. And you can choose that to be every month or every couple of months, every 12 months if it's a yearly subscription, and you can sort of break that down as and when or as it's going to best suit your offering. And you can have 2 subscriptions, so maybe it's a yearly fee of £100 a year or a monthly fee of £10 a month. So that's offering that slight discount if people pay upfront for the full year. And it can also be free if you just want people to have to sign in to access the content of your course, but you're not bothered about charging for the course. So maybe it's an opt-in to a mailing list is access to this sort of free short course. So if we just come out of here, The next option is course content, and this is where you would add all of the lessons and chapters. They are added just using the plus. You'll choose your chapter or just straight in with a lesson. So if we add a new lesson, you'll first be prompted to add a title, an excerpt, again similar to adding a product or a blog post, the URL, the thumbnail, so that's going to be your sort of cover image. If you would like a video, you can upload that here or add in your link for YouTube or Vimeo. Or if you don't want a video with a particular lesson, we can toggle that off. And then status allows us to have this saved as a draft, publish it, or schedule it. So I mentioned earlier you could kind of drip feed content out to the users. So maybe it's a set 6-week course that starts on the 1st of November, and then once a week they get access to another chapter or another lesson. So you can set up those dates in the future for things to go live. So that's a really neat feature as well. So we'll save this just as a draft for now, and we can take a look at what it looks like when you're editing a lesson. So we'll go into edit, and then really it's just like building out any page. So this top section with the name of your lesson, the complete and continue button is sort of set in stone. But adding a section here, you've got all of your usual sections, your blocks, and like I say, you can really add anything. So we'll just go ahead and add some of this placeholder content. Of course, you probably wouldn't want to make it too image heavy. It's got to be useful information for the purchasers of your course, but like I say, it's as easy as building out a page on your site. So you can have a video just as a block rather than using the default video format, or we could have a button if you wanted to link up a download to a PDF document, for example. If you decide as you're working on the lesson that you would like to turn on their actual video, you hover over this top section and then you would just select edit video, toggle that back on, and then you can upload or add the link for your video in there. So really flexible, and there's lots of different things you can do with the courses and with the lessons within the course. So this is just a really quick overview, and touched on a little bit how you can start to build out your own course. So I hope you find that useful. Any questions about using courses, as always, you can reach out by email, or you can leave a comment below this video if you're watching it on YouTube.